All right, so these guys just wrapped up roll call. Day one is about to begin here at the PBA Players Championship. So they're going to be getting fired up for practice here in a couple minutes. Just learned a weird amount of stuff about the logistics of how these guys have to bowl and the fines included if they don't follow the rules that they've all agreed upon. So that's pretty interesting. But going to be jumping around and hopefully talking to some guys in the middle of their blocks if they're cool with it, but also catching them after. So let's see what these guys got. They're bowling on Chameleon today, which is a 39-foot pattern. So I'm guessing that there's going to be a lot of urethane thrown. We'll see. But honestly, I think it's going to be kind of a strike fest. There was a lot of strikes thrown yesterday in practice, and when you're the best in the world, knocking down 10 pins is kind of your job. So let's see what these guys got.
I had a pretty clear picture. It was looked good. I just was trying to exploit a certain spot down lane that I saw yesterday, and just had to manipulate, what the ball needed to do to get to that spot, to retain the most amount of energy to go through the pins. And I think I did a pretty good job of that, throughout the first 6. I bowled good the last game, but I saw something in the 10th frame at the end there that I didn't see that whole game. So just gonna go have a nice lunch and come back and start fresh all over again.
All right, so these guys just wrapped up the first round here at the Players. This place cleared out real fast. They all went out to lunch. I'm gonna go get some too, but things that you realize when you go to an event like this, first off, is the sound. Obviously, if you're watching this, you're probably a bowler or interested in bowling. You've been at bowling centers, but the volume that these guys hit pins with is unbelievable. It's just, there's a special type of loud when these guys are really hitting the pocket hard. So that's pretty sweet. The other thing too, which I shouldn't say that it's surprising, but I'm really grateful for it, is how welcoming everyone's been. Phil Brylow, who most of you probably know, he's been kind of helping me out quite a bit. He even gave me a media tag, which I think is pretty cool. And just everyone's been so welcoming. I mean, just to be able to shoot the breeze with a lot of these guys as they're bowling. Obviously some of them are pretty intense and focusing on what they're doing. Some of them are keeping it loose. And this is the first time I've ever been in the building with these guys, and they have been super gracious. And I'm not a nuisance here, which I was kind of afraid of. But I hope you guys enjoyed the first bit of shots there. Scores were super high. Lots of urethane to start, which anything less than 40 feet, you're going to have that. But it was pretty cool to see the transition, see a lot of guys running left, a lot of really, really good bowling overall. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll have round 2 here coming up.
Just staying in the moment today, being patient. Last year in this event, I basically drowned myself the first block and took myself out of it. I wanted to come in and today get off to a good start, but also not press too hard. That's kind of one of my nemesis, is try to put a score up before actually going through the process. And bowled with a great group of guys. Matt Gasson, who works for Storm, and the company I represent too, is Storm and 900 Global. Just kind of ideas with stuff going on, reaching out to ball reps. One that's bowling currently, Tim Mack, and Sean Ryan at home, asking for advice on stepping procedures, kind of letting them know what's going on, what I'm feeling, and just the confidence is riding high. Made a ball change this morning and bowled 270, 270, and that's always a good feeling.
All right, so day one of the Players Championship here in Milwaukee. As a spectator and someone who bowls relatively often, this is my biggest takeaway. These guys are never lost, like ever. It's unbelievable. On fresh in transition, when they got cooked, it was like no matter what was happening on lanes, and really without much in the way of ball reps there too. I mean, Motive has two guys. Tim Mack is bowling. But it didn't matter. They just knew what to do, where to go, what balls to throw. At no point were any of them even searching. It was all about execution. And I was talking to AJ Johnson. It's all about, like, he looks at it in very, very small pieces. So he's trying to get his ball to slow down in a certain area between 2 to 3 boards in about 6 inches front to back. And it's like all these guys know how to do that. And as somebody who has bowled competitively quite a bit, just the level of ability to execute like that is so damn impressive. Bowlers get a lot of crap for not being athletes per se, but between the mental game that it takes to understand that, and then the ability to rotate a 15-pound object directly over a 1-inch board within a 6-inch window front to back, is just one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. The ability for them to string strikes, even when they're tough. I think I saw 3 missed makeable spares across the house for 14 games. So 61 times 14, I'm not doing that math in my head, but the only word that comes to mind is just plain execution. It was just so amazing. Nobody fried out yet. We'll see what it's like day 2. There's going to be I think day 2 is going to be a lot different. Just, they can pace themselves. They can take it slow. The cut line is close. There's going to be a lot of guys in contention. Even the guys that are a couple hundred out of it, they catch a hot run. Sean Rash shot 804 his last 3 the first block. I would say there's very few guys that are actually out of it that are, deserve to be there. So I'm excited to see how that competitive edge really starts to come out on day 2. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. At least from my perspective, it was super fun to watch. I want to, give these guys a lot of credit for what they can do, and I'm excited to see what they can do on the longer pattern too, because the lane surfaces here hook a lot. So I'm curious to see how that longer pattern plays if they start really throwing it in the air when the fronts blow up and they have to, kind of keep their angles tight. But it's gonna be fun. But that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for checking this one out, and don't forget, your best life is a 10-pin life. See ya.